Alright, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with watercolor. This is the first day of watercolor, so you've got your paper already on your board, and you've got your handout that's going to give you the different techniques along with all the different requirements that you need. You also have your palette. So, here's the deal. Today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you these three different techniques. Now these are known as traditional techniques. These are things that watercolor artists use all the time. These are pretty consistent. Okay? So what I'm showing you in these next couple of days are just traditional watercolor techniques that can be applied to every single painting that you ever do. Okay, and you're going to be applying these to yours. Over here on this is essentially a rubric, but it also tells you like what you're going to do and how to do it. Okay, up here where it says lifting, you're going to wind up needing a sphere, so I provided you a picture of a sphere. So, these are examples of what we're going to be doing. Now I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so, as you can see, yesterday we labeled everything. Today we got our materials and we got everything we need. Now, when putting, the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to actually lay out your palette. Okay? This is your palette. Okay, I'm only going to use 3 colors for right now. And when you lay out your palette, what you're going to do is you place the colors along the edge. Okay? It never goes in the middle. Why do you suppose that is? Well, you are going to kind of make a color wheel right now. Yeah, that's kind of what's going to happen. But why don't I put them in the middle? There we go, thank you. So they all don't mix right in the middle. But also, so I have space in case I want to mix colors, I have room in the middle to do it. That's how my colors go. And actually, technically, this is a secondary color. So right in there. Okay, now one of the beautiful things about watercolor is even when the paint's dry, you just add some water to it and they'll reactivate, so you can use them again. All right. So that brings me to my next point, is you always have to have water. Okay, right now you don't need water. I told you not to get it, that's fine. Right now you don't need it. I do. So, once I have the water, first thing I do is I take my large brush. This is known as a flat. Why do you think it's called a flat? Flat. Thank you very much, Monique. Yes, because it's flat. Not only at the top, but when I hold to the side, it's the ferrule, this is the ferrule, is also flat. Okay? So if I look at my brushes over here, like these, okay, look at this one. What would this one be called? Huh? Look at the tip. The tip is what? Yeah, it's not so much fine. I mean, you're looking at the thickness of it, but the tip, how would you describe it? If you describe this one as flat, say that again. This is pointy, so it's a point. It's a pointed, and then look at the ferrule. It's what? Say that again. Round. This is a pointed round. Wow. Pretty crazy, huh? Easy enough. Okay, that's a pointed round. What's this brush called? This one's called Bob. Bob. I'm kidding. No, this is also a flat. Okay, because the top is flat and the ferrule is flat. Got it? Pretty easy stuff. So you have 3 pointed rounds and 2 flats. I'm going to take my large flat first, and I dip it into the water so that I have some water on it, and I put some drops right on my little globs of paint. Notice that it's not a huge amount of paint. This amount of paint will last me the entire thing of this, and more than likely my entire painting. Now, once again, I want to explain that artists are pretty simple people. We don't like to overcomplicate things. So when I look at this and I read it says wet on dry, what do you think I'm going to do? Yeah, I'm going to do wet what on dry what? Wet paint on dry paper. There you go. That's pretty simple. Okay, so my paintbrush is wet, and when I look at my instructions here, it tells me I'm going to put my name and period number. I want to go thin to thick, dark to light, and multiple layers and colors. Okay, that's pretty easy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my name. And I'm using my brush like this. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do my name. And look, I go thin, thick. Pretty cool, huh? And look at that. I went thin, thick, and also dark, light. Hey, I've got dark color and I've got light color. With watercolor, you add more water and that makes it lighter. Do not, I repeat, do not use white. That's what you use to color the paper. The paper is white. the white of the paper comes through, more water, that creates a light value. Okay? Now, I'm also going to mess around with my other brushes. So I'm going to grab one of my pointed rounds. And since one of my requirements is multiple layers and colors, I'm going to use another color. I'm going to grab some red. Notice how I don't dip into. This is one thing that I see people do all the time that you should not do. You shouldn't do that. That's not good. Okay? You come in and just slowly, you have to mix it with water. It can't be too thick. Okay? So I have to use multiple layers and colors. So I'm going to try with my other brush and see what kind of line this makes. I haven't put what period number this is, so. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Look how it mixes. Period. What is this? 2? Okay. Let's see what else happens here. I'm going to go from thick to thin. So I go from thick, thin, thick, thin, thick. Now, do I have multiple colors and multiple layers? Yep, I think I've basically met my requirements here. Name and period number, thin to thick, dark to light, multiple, dark to light. I want to do that a little bit better. You know what, I'm going to throw in my other color and grab some green. I'm going to go dark to light. Okay, so I've met my entire requirements there. Pretty cool, right? Nothing too complicated. Now, does that make sense?